So since you've chosen that you want to work in a lab, the construction of phenomena and things must be very important to you. These things, the construction of phenomena and things, is very often perceived as to be of nature, like laboratory experiments, even experiments not in a lab per se, or like labs in the building, but like outside, are often thought to be of nature, and that eventually our knowledge is a direct representation of nature. But the construction of things and phenomena actually have very little to do with nature, because basically what science does is it manipulates labs, because a lab can be anything. My room right here can be a lab if I'm doing some kind of research in it. But the big thing about labs is that there are artificial variables, there are controlled variables, and there are things that take away from the nature aspect of it and actually just make it a very non-nature environment, to where scientists can control what goes in and goes out. A great example is of testing spacesuits in the for spacemen, or for astronauts. So when you think about it, back in the 60s, before we'd been in space, like the way these things were designed and trained were based off of calculations and simulations, like putting people in anti-gravity areas, but it's still not, it's like we didn't send our people up in space to test going in space. You know, we created these own controlled labs where this can be done. Another good example is how our technology is not a direct representation of nature. Our technology shapes old materials and what its roots are, which is nature, but it's not a direct representation of it. Anyway, it shapes those roots into something that we can use and it's useful. And also another thing is that, you know, we as humans in the world we live in today, we put a big emphasis on what the actual thing looks like. So like Apple products are a great example. You know, everybody says Apple products are sexy. You know, they're sleek. They all have the same fundamental kind of shape. They match. They're very stylish per se. And then like even like Beats headphones, a lot of people use those as like a fashion accessory. Like even if they're not listening to music, they have their headphones out around the neck, and because of the way it looks. So basically these things and phenomena are constructed not of nature, but of controlled environments in which science determines the variables that go in and go out.